Hey guys, this is Brandy Fox with Be the Entrepreneur Consultant Agency, and we are hopping in live real quick just so we can give y'all a little prep of what to expect not next week, on Thursday, 6 p.m., Northlake Mall. Me and my homegirl slash esthetician slash dance buddy slash confidant, baby, all that, all in one.
All of it.
All of that. She is going to be dropping some gems tonight for anybody that is interested in being an esthetician. As we know, the aesthetics field is something that has grown tremendously over the past few years as people are looking for better ways to take care of their skin. Automatically off the rip, people think dermatologists, not understanding the impact that estheticians have on your beauty inside and out. So my testimonial for Courtney would be like when I came to her, I would say we almost at the 2 year mark. But when I came to Courtney, I had I had mild acne, but I had severe hyperpigmentation. So like all this was like dark marks, breakouts, all that stuff. And when I came to her, I was just toe up. I was crying, baby, because I was like, I didn't know what else to do. Yeah, I was toe up. Because my face had got so bad that like it got to the point where I did not want to leave my house. Like I'm like, okay, if I leave, I need a bag or something. So I had been to estheticians before, but when I met Courtney, she was like, she kept it real with me from the beginning as an esthetician. And this is one thing I can say I definitely appreciate about having a real esthetician that really cares about their clients is that she let me know this ain't gonna be no overnight process. Like she did my skin analyzation, all that stuff. She was like, it's gonna take us some time, but if you do what I tell you to do and use the products that I'm telling you to use, then I'm gonna clear your face up. And baby, she did just that. She did just that. So just to see her grow, we met when she first got out of school. So to see where she's been this past 2 years and see how she's grown her business model has been exciting. So it was a no-brainer that when I got to February, which was my niche month of estheticians for Networkish, our Be the Entrepreneur new connection with Northlake Mall, where we'll have the opportunity every month to have special guests come in who are successful in their industry to tell other people who are interested, aspiring, or even struggling on how to make money. So with that being said, I just want to do a light introduction on that. But I would love to want to welcome Courtney, to the stage. Tell the people a little bit more about you. And let's start with where your passion from getting into aesthetics, where did that come from?
So me getting into aesthetics, first of all, it was never I have not always had a dream to be in skin, beauty, and all that. A little bit about my background. I was an insurance adjuster for about 14 years. I worked in insurance, workers' comp. That's all I really knew. And I kind of got into aesthetics as a segue from doing makeup. And honestly, I only wanted to learn how to do makeup just so I could do my eyebrows. Um, I just wanted to learn how to do my eyebrows, for a little girl's night out or a date or whatever. And I started going live on like Facebook, Instagram, and I really was going live for the people to help me because I didn't really know what I was doing. Then it just evolved from there. And then I started doing makeup, taking bridal parties. And then I got people asking me like, hey, I have these dark marks or I have acne, or how can I get my skin to not, look so textured? And I really didn't have the answers for them. So I decided to enroll in aesthetic school at night, at Gaston College and in Belmont. And it was all she wrote after that. Like I just decided, when I decided to go to school at night, I realized that skin and beauty was something I was really passionate about. I went to grad school, dropped out, thought about nursing school. Was like, that ain't it. And then like skin was the only thing that really like made sense to me. Like after I got into it, it was just like it felt like home. So that's kind of how I got started and like kind of how I grew my passion. I didn't go into this with a passion. It actually just kind of grew, and that's why I always tell people it's never too late, because this wasn't even a passion of mine. So yeah.
No, I totally agree. That never too late part, I love that because a lot of people feel that, if they don't do anything in their 20s, 30s, and even their 40s, like they feel like that it's over. Like they get into a
Mhm.
panic mode, not understanding that, like you said, life is a journey. You
Right.
have to go through each little piece to really find out your passion. And, you have some people who are blessed and fortunate to be able to find it sooner than others. But I feel like for me, um, I'm glad that I enjoyed the journey of working full time, doing other things. So that way it really made me appreciate when
Hmm.
I got into my passion for sure.
Right.
Um, so let's talk about the hard part of being an esthetician. If you had to give two of the most difficult parts that it was for you transitioning from school into, aesthetics as a profession, what did that look like?
Well, I remember my very first time, because Brandy, you came to see me when I was set up in my house. I had set
Yep.
up a studio in one of my spare bedrooms when I had my home, and yeah, she was like one of the OGs, so I appreciate you for that, for always sticking with me. But anyway, I remember the first time I had a client come to my home studio, and we sat down. I got them on the table, and I it was almost as if I didn't know. I didn't go to school. Like I could have remembered the steps. I could remember what went next. I was literally like, oh my God, like what, like I just drew a blank. So I think for me it's just like it was just transitioning from, this is what we're doing in school so you can meet these requirements, to, oh, this is a real life. This is real world. Like you gotta actually kind of remember this. Like you're not gonna have somebody coming beside you reminding, no, you have to cleanse first and then exfoliate, not the other way around. It was just kind of like weird. And then I think the other piece for me that was tough was not really getting caught up in the trends, and feeling like I have to do everything because this esthetician is doing it this way, or this is what it's popular on Instagram, and the social media fads. Like I think just like really understanding, like taking the time to really figure out what I like to do, because initially when I first started school, you couldn't tell me I wasn't going to do makeup, facials, eyelashes. That I was bound to be somebody's lash artist in my
That
head.
that's what you
But
thought.
I kid you not, I've not done anybody's individuals lashes ever. Like after I saw the process, I was like, oh, that's not for
Girl,
me.
girl, I be there,
So
girl, I be there, poke somebody eye out. I be there, had a lawsuit because
yeah,
you
I was
blind.
like,
Because
oh,
at this point, you blind.
you're right. I'm like, oh yeah, that ain't for me, because it's just the process I didn't enjoy watching. I didn't enjoy getting them done. So I was like, I'm not gonna, do something that I don't enjoy. Like I've had a 14-year career in insurance. I've done enough of what I did not enjoy. And so now that I have a choice, I ain't doing nothing that I don't like to do. So I think it was like just figuring out, okay, what exactly I wanted to be on my service. Meaning everybody that probably knows me from doing makeup, I still to this day, they're super shocked and appalled that I don't do makeup anymore. Like that was probably one of the first things I took off of my menu, and it just didn't make sense for my business model and for what how I wanted my day to flow at work. Um, I didn't like it was a lot of interruptions when I would have makeup artists, wax clients, facial. It was too much breakdown and setup. So I think just kind of figuring out what type of esthetician you want to be, and how you want your business to flow, is probably one of the first little um, milestones you have to kind of achieve to continue to move forward.
No, I agree. I agree. And that's important with any business. I feel like with any business, you have to know your niche. Like
Mm-hmm.
people, you got to know your niche. It's every business has so many areas that you can go into. Entrepreneurship, they be like, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm like, baby, you gotta go a little deeper than that. Like, what
Right.
kind of entrepreneur? You know what I'm saying? Are you a solopreneur? You working and doing it? So I think that's where a lot of people mess up too, especially in the beauty industry, because they cross lines a lot. If you think about it, you know what I'm saying? Cosmetology, you can do nails, you can do facials, but then you got people that just do facials. So my question is, what made you opt for just skincare only and not doing the full cosmetology type thing?
Well, number one, um, I can't do hair. That's not my will. Like, I have no desire to do hair. If something take too long, I'ma check out. So I don't know how to cornrow. I can plait something. I can kind of do a straight part, but hair is just not my jam. And and it's such a much longer program, cost more money, and it just seemed like a waste of time for me. Um, and the fact that they had a program specifically that focused on skin and body care, like that was for me. Um, I just had zero interest in hair. Like I had two
She
sisters
said, I
that
can
did
kind of.
hair,
It's
and
the
I
kind
was
of part for
like,
me.
girl, it ain't, and I'm tender headed. Like I wasn't trying to put that, kind of pressure or torture on other people. So I was like, yeah, no, that's not my wheelhouse. But so that's what it made it. That was an easy choice for me of knowing, okay, I want to go to aesthetic school, um, because hair just wasn't it. And because somebody else asked me that question as it pertains to like why didn't I go to massage therapy school in conjunction too, and I honestly just don't want to work that hard. Uh,
It is a lot. It's a
it's
lot
a
when you start
lot.
adding on all that extra stuff.
Yeah, I don't desire to work that hard physically or to go to school much longer. So it's just one of those things where I chose the aesthetic route and I'm glad I did. It worked out good for me, I think.
I agree. I agree. I think that it did. I think you chose a good. I think you chose a good profession just because I feel like at the beginning you already knew. Like I feel like you didn't know all the parts, but I felt
Mhm.
like even coming to your house, like I feel like you felt confident in your decision of going through aesthetic school.
Mhm.
So what would be some tips that you would give for some of the girls that are in aesthetic school? So I know I'm pretty sure it's not easy, learning the levels of the skin, all that stuff. So what are some tips that kind of help you, especially going at nighttime and working full time through
Mhm.
school?
Um, so I think for me, the program that I chose, I didn't know going into it that it would be the way it was, which I'm grateful for. Like I went to school at night at Gaston College, and you know we would go to school from I think 5 to 10:30, and so we would go in, do our theory with our teachers. They would teach us whatever we need to know, and then we would be able to kind of do our clinics with our clients that come in, and then after that we had time to study and to do things that were obviously school related. School related.
Mm.
Um, so I honestly I built my business while I was in school. So I utilized that time to, research a tech, how to get a tax ID, what that even entailed, how if I needed an LLC. Like I remember, sitting with some of my classmates and like us all Googling trying to figure out so what we need, like, really just taking time because like sometimes if you don't know, you don't know. So you have to take the time out to research and that is a part of the curriculum, understanding what type of business structure you want. And so I would really encourage them, whether you're going during the day or nighttime, like to really start thinking about it while you're in school. Like, don't wait till you get out of school to figure it all out. Because you're either going to want to hit the ground running as a solopreneur or you're going to go work, excuse me, for somebody else, which is completely okay. 1,000% okay if you have to go work and gain experience with somebody else, but also keep that in mind too. Like, is that what you want to do? Me personally, it just wasn't a question for me. Well, it was an option, I will say, because I did have a particular spot that I wanted to work at, but it just didn't work out with my schedule because I still worked full time in insurance. But when that didn't work out, you know, in my head it was like, well, I'm still working full time. I already got one supervisor. I don't need two.
Come on now. Come on now
So
on my nerve.
right. So I just that was how I felt. Now I can't say that is everybody's story and that is everybody's wheelhouse. Um Definitely understand who you are as a person and what you can handle. Be honest with yourself. Everybody wants to be a boss until it's time to be a boss.
Girl, can you say it
So
one more time for all the entrepreneurs that be on my line? Girl, and
everybody wants to be a boss until it's time to actually be a boss. It is a lot of work. Especially in the beginning, because it's literally figuring out what works, what doesn't. And it's still a lot of work. And I'm 2 years in now, and it's still like every day it's just like, Lord, can I need something. It's just me. Like I don't have an assistant, I don't have employees. I am everything. So, now I'm getting to that point to where I'm learning, okay, I don't like doing this no more. So I gotta find a way where I can make this work where somebody else does it, right? So, it's different levels to it, but I definitely think that you gotta understand the type of person you are, what you can handle. Because sometimes we are the hardest people to manage. Everybody, it's different when you say, well, yeah, I work for myself, but if you don't get up until 1 o'clock PM and you just scroll on your social media all day, you don't really invest the time that needs to run a business, then you're gonna fall short. Now I will say, because trust me, I'm coming out of one of those moments where sometimes you just gotta take a break, and sometimes just like, listen, if it get posted today, it get posted. If it don't, well, we're gonna see what happens.
yeah,
Hope for
we'll
the
check
best,
in tomorrow. We'll try again tomorrow.
right? But you just gotta, it's a daily commitment where you have to recommit every single day. You have to get up and say, okay, this is my business. I really want to be successful. And you got to mean it. You got to, put in the effort. And if you don't know how to do something, don't just not do it. Figure it out. Ask questions. Connect with people like Brandy. Because I will ask Brandy, we be talking about everything when she in there on that table, get her face. It's like, well, so what do you think I should do with this?
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it does it like you don't know unless you ask, and you won't ever find out if you're not willing to take those, get uncomfortable and network with people. So I think I answered your question, but
No, you did. No,
yeah.
girl, we just chilling, baby. Just open free flow, let the people know what's up.
Yeah.
So one thing, like I said, that you did say that I totally agree with is when dang, it just slipped my mind that quick. Mm, thought I had something. No worries, we're gonna keep rolling this thing. Girl, I definitely like it was there and then boom. But okay, so moving forward from there. So you went to and you kind of answered my next question, which would be how did you know if you wanted to do that's what it was.
Okay.
So going into talking about under being okay with working full time and still doing your business on the side.
Hmm.
People have this weird, I don't know where it came from, that if you become an entrepreneur, that you got to come out full time. Like, I'm ready to quit my, like, I've had people that's literally just started a business and they like, yeah, I'm trying to be out my job in 6 months. You ain't got no entrepreneurship experience. You got a whole new business that you starting. And I'm not gonna say it's impossible. I will not say that because I feel like anything is possible. But we got to be realistic when we go into
Hmm.
entrepreneurship. If you know your lifestyle does not match up with, you know what I'm saying, being able to adequately take care of your bills, your lifestyle, all that stuff. I don't know where people put out here that that you're too good to work two jobs, to do both of them.
Hmm.
So I say that to say, Courtney, what was some of those balancing tips that you did? Because not only did you balance school and work, but you started, your business and working, and you just recently left. So how was
Yeah.
that for you? What are some tips that you would give estheticians that's coming out of school and they want to kind of find that balance?
Yeah. So I opened my business in 2020, in the heart of COVID. And um, I remember, so I didn't really know because I was working out. I had set up my studio in my house, but I wasn't quite sure. with COVID and all that, I was like, I don't know if I want people coming to my house. Like, I don't really know what this virus going to do. But I remember not really understanding or not really being clear on whether or not I wanted to have a space outside of my home or whatever, what that was going to look like. Because, of course, there's a financial component to that. But for me, at the time, I had a house that I purchased, and I was like, you know what? I think I'm gonna just, work and see what happens a little bit. But then I opened up, I signed a lease. Like, it was like one day I was thinking about it, and the next day I had a spot. And I'm like, wait a minute. Okay,
I remember.
I was like, I don't have no clients. And this was in July. I signed my lease in July. Now, mind you, I didn't open my spa and take clients until October. Signed my lease in July, moved in August. And so at that point in August, I started like with the design, and that's a whole nother thing too, y'all. Like, don't go ham on nobody else's space. But anyway, make it your own, but don't go overboard like I did. But
I love your space.
I love it too. But it's not my it still belongs to them. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, like I did that, but I utilized my resources in the fact that I had a house. I did a refinance, and I took some of that money to help fund my business. Now, mind you, I was still working. I did not quit my job right away because I still wasn't really sure about what that even looked like for me, because I was so used to making a certain amount of money and just having that cushion and having that assurance that I'm gonna get a check in 2 weeks. And then everything that came in from Clue Beauty was it was a blessing, because at that time I didn't have a full on clientele. So again, I still was trying to figure that out. Now, as business went on, August, September, I was taking clients here and there, but not really in the spa. Like, I was taking them still at the house. But then in October 17th, 2020, I actually had my grand opening. Which for me was eye-opening to the possibilities. I remember leading up to that, I did a mentor program with another esthetician from Jacksonville, by the name of Anthony Stinson, I believe is her last name. And because at that point, I didn't know what to expect from a grand opening. I'm like, it's COVID. I don't know if a lot of people gonna come. I ain't got a whole lot of nothing. And so I made me some t-shirts. Using my nephew's t-shirt press machine. I made my own t-shirts, made my own designs in Canva, and
Maybe you a t-shirt designer.
Basically. And I ordered like the bare minimum for like retail, like skincare retail, just so I could have something on my shelves. Like, it was just like maybe 5 of each item, and I didn't have a lot. But I remember her asking, she was like, so how much money are you gonna make for your open house? And I'm like, I don't know, maybe like $600.
Right.
For open house. And she was like, so your goal is $1,200. And I was like, girl, I'm trying to figure out how to make 50 today. Like, what are you talking about, $1,200? But like, her talking to her and then actually having that open house, which was beautiful. My friends and like co-workers came to support me and bought items, and I think I ended up making like $1,500 that day.
Look at God.
Mm-hmm. And so it was just like eye-opening to me to understand, like, oh, like, I think everybody has to have that moment of like, dang, like I can do this. Like, it's almost like your business has to prove, like, I got you. Like, as much as you got the business, you got to show up for it. It has you too. Like, you got to, I know it's a business, but you got to trust your business, if that makes sense. I don't know. Maybe. No, but you kind of have to have that, like that, like, I know my business is going to carry me through. Like, you got to believe in it, And so after that happened, I was like, okay, I knew to get to the next milestone, I was going to have to be there more, because I would work from 7:30 to 4, and then go to work from 6 to 9. at the
Mm-hmm.
spa. So I have really, really long days. And sometimes I didn't leave the spa until like 10 p.m. or later. So I remember saying, okay, to hit more, more of my goals, I'm gonna have to be here more. And so I was like, but I ain't really trying to quit my job because
Right,
it
right,
looked
baby.
like
I got a lifestyle. Look,
from going to make from making almost $80,000 a year to
praying. Look,
yeah,
hey, look,
it's
praying, just
it's not
hoping for
easy.
something.
It's not easy. And so what I did was that November, I resigned from the job that I was at, but I got another job that paid me less. And so I purposely did that because I wanted a job that wasn't as stressful, and it would get me used to having to support myself more so on my business income. So
Right,
I kind of
right,
did
right.
like a little stair step down and out. And then,
Mm-hmm.
but again, and let me back up. Don't forget to pray and ask God or whoever you believe in, what their plan is, because this was all my plan. Cause I'm telling you, how I was like, yeah, I'm gonna work this other job for about a year, cause it's a year or two, because it's not as stressful. It's it's easy
Steady.
because
Yep.
it's like
Mm-hmm.
entry level compared to what I was doing. So that's what I thought I was gonna do. And so I didn't last but 7 months in that job because it was probably one of the most irritating and stressful jobs that I had ever had. And then they were paying me pennies on the dollar. So I was like, oh, okay. And then I remember talking to you about this, Brittany. I was like, Brittany, I think I'm gonna give them 2 months and I'm out. And that 2 months, I resigned. I gave my resignation on a Friday, and I gave them a 2 month resignation. This was July of 2021. And then by that Monday, it had converted to a 2 week resignation.
Yeah, it was real quick. It was real quick. I
It
meet
was
you
just a
monthly.
lot.
It was supposed to
Yeah,
be, yeah, it was
it was
supposed to
really
be like the
quick. It
next
was
time
really
I came
quick.
back. He said it's a wrap.
I was like, yeah, I'm out of there. But it was just, I think for me it was just time, because I was like, I this is where I want to be. This is what I want to do, and I really need to give it my all because I'm paying rent on a space and I'm barely even here, and I'm a tourist, so I don't like people touching my stuff. So I wasn't at a place to where I was comfortable bringing somebody else to work with my clients without me watching. You know what I'm saying? But that in that learn that takes a learning curve. So you have to learn how to be a leader. Like I knew for me, I wasn't ready for that yet. I was good with my people, with my stuff. So I needed to make sure that I was available more. So
Hmm.
that's how I ended up being an entrepreneur.
No, I love it. And it makes sense. It makes sense. And a lot of people overlook the trial and errors of transitioning from, a student or even, that training into the real thing. It's a whole learning curve. Nobody is going straight through it. Like, it's a learning curve to go into entrepreneurship. Even people that's had experience, like I've helped people who've worked in the industry as like a manager, a higher ranked position, and they like, I'm tired of not getting paid. I want to do my own thing. And then they get on that back end, because it's a different thing when you can clock out. And when I worked at DSS as a social worker, baby, at 5 o'clock, I'm clocking out. I don't care what's going on. It's gonna have to hit me at 8:30. Well, I was always late, so between 8:30 and 9 the next morning, that's when it's gonna have to hit me. But they were not, even in those managerial positions, they were not prepared for all that comes in on the back end of being an entrepreneur.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, Courtney, it really ties to finding your niche as an esthetician. What is it that you're trying to do? Are you trying to go into, because I got some estheticians that's interested in that med spa lane, like they really want to go into it. That's their thing. And I got some people that's just comfortable with doing facials. They love doing it. That's their thing. They want to just focus on that. So I think that's the biggest thing coming out, is knowing or having an idea of what you like. And that's what I love about school a lot, is that you get an opportunity to do a lot of different things. So it allows you to make a decision on like, oh, I really like doing that. Even with massage therapy, like when my massage therapists come out, they all have different like modalities they love. Like some people's like, that deep tissue, I love it. I love putting my elbow in people. Some people like, I'm a true Swedish, like I'm gonna knock you out with my relaxation.
Mm-hmm.
So I think knowing where you are and knowing where you kind of want to go is definitely one of those things that can help you transition and be able to transition from from full time employee to full time entrepreneur in 2 years. That's bomb. Like
Right.
that's bomb. That's a different type of focus level. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying?
Yeah.
Um so as we come to a closing for
Mm-hmm.
today, and if any of you guys just tuned in and you are an esthetician or you know any estheticians, on Thursday at 6 o'clock at Northlake Mall Community Studio, Be the Entrepreneur has partnered with Northlake Mall to create the Networkish Niche Connector series, which is basically where every third Thursday of every month we'll have an expert in a certain industry come in and really drop them gems that you do not see anywhere else when it comes to your business. Some things you can only learn through experience. And to be able to know people and be connected to people that know exactly where they are and where they want to go, and they can give those tips. I'm excited about it. So on Thursday, it's all about estheticians. So if you know any estheticians that are in esthetician school, if they thinking about it, they want to know if it's a fit for them, or for any estheticians that's already in the business that are struggling. This is a great $5 low cost event. You got a little night, little after hour refreshments. And Courtney, the stuff she talked about tonight was just the icing on the cake. The stuff that she's going to talk about on Thursday is really going to be them action-based gems to help estheticians who are serious about becoming entrepreneur estheticians to knock out all that middle stuff and be able to know kind of those key steps that you need to do in order to be an esthetician. So, Courtney, as we close out for today, what is one tip that you would give graduating Courtney from Gaston College of Aesthetics, I'm assuming?
Um, One tip.
One tip, like if you was to meet Courtney and she didn't got that license, and she like, baby, I'm in there. What you gonna tell her?
Um, I would tell me to not overthink everything.
You're definitely a thinker. You are
I
definitely a think. You are analyze something down to the nothing. You are right.
to
You are
the point
analyze.
of I'm just stuck thinking and not doing anything. Like, don't overthink it, guys. Like, it is, you got to think about it, but you also have to make a decision.
The
So,
action.
even if it's like small things, like ladies, we always get hammered on the fact that we don't know how, we never know what we want to eat. Like, even start practicing making decisions, like, because it matters. Like, you really have to like, y'all have no idea how long it's taken me to find an apartment because I just would not make a decision, but I found one. But I would say just not to be an overthinker. Definitely think things through, but don't allow the uncertainty of what's next or the unknown to paralyze you, because I think sometimes we get stuck in that period, that space of, well, what if this happens and what if that doesn't happen, or what, you will be going back and forth like a ping pong ball, and you'll end up doing like this, and then you just end up like dazed in the same spot that you started in. So I definitely don't overthink things. Have a good person that you trust, that has a good sound business mind, that you can bounce ideas off of to kind of help you through those thought processes, because it can be a lot. It can be overwhelming, and you just, it's almost like therapy. Like, you need your good business besties to help you process certain things, or mentors, or somebody in your corner that will help you walk through those things. And that somebody can be me. So yeah, don't overthink.
I love it. I think that is definitely great advice for estheticians, but also entrepreneurs in general, baby. You got to put some action to that thinking. Ain't nothing wrong with planning it out, but you got to get to that execution part, or it's just going to be that a plan.
Right.
But with that being said, Courtney, thank you so much for tonight, giving me your time. I'm looking forward to Thursday. Like I said, if you are an esthetician, aspiring esthetician, a student esthetician, or a real esthetician, license, all that stuff out here, trying to get your business up. Cosmetologists, come on now, drop them on there, drop that health and beauty field on them. If you know anybody that's in there, go ahead and tag them to this post today. All you got to do is go to my website, betheentrepreneur.com/event. I have the link in there. And for $5, you can get everything you need to be able to adequately work for yourself and learn the steps of creating your own product line. So if that's something that you're interested in, or you know somebody, tag them in the post, grab y'all tickets. But outside of that, I will see y'all on Thursday.
All right. See y'all later.
Bye.
Bye.